What happens when one of the biggest names in the NBA starts making quarterback suggestions for an NFL team? When Damian Lillard speaks, people listen. And this time, the superstar guard has set the internet on fire with his bold take on the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback situation. After the team's crushing 40-6 loss to the Indianapolis Colts, Lillard didn't hold back. He went straight to social media and made a shocking statement, calling for the Raiders to move on from Geno Smith and bring in none other than Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, you heard that right. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who has been waiting patiently for his shot in Cleveland. When Tom Brady vouched for Geno Smith, everyone thought it was a masterstroke. After all, when a 7-time Super Bowl champion believes in you, it's hard not to take notice. The Raiders trusted Brady's judgment, brought in Smith, and hoped his leadership could stabilize their shaky offense. But 5 weeks later, the dream has turned into a nightmare. The Raiders now sit at 1-4, clinging to the bottom of the AFC West standings, and their playoff hopes are fading faster than ever. Smith's performances have been far from what fans expected. He's thrown 9 interceptions, 7 of which directly gave opponents 35 points, one of the worst starts by a Raiders quarterback in over 5 decades. That's where Damian Lillard decided to step in. He took to X, formerly Twitter, and replied to a fan saying Geno Smith isn't washed up, but it's time to prepare for the future. His exact words? He's not washed. He's just turning the ball over. But it's time to get Shedeur on the team and get ready for the future. Lillard clearly still respects Geno's talent, but he believes the Raiders need to start planning ahead. And Shedeur Sanders, according to him, is the one who could change the team's fortunes. Now, Shedeur's story is just as dramatic as the Raiders' current crisis. Once projected to go in the first round of the NFL draft, Shedeur shockingly slid all the way to the 5th round. It was one of the most surprising drops in recent memory. Dillon Gabriel, another young quarterback, was chosen earlier and immediately became a starter for the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, Shedeur was pushed down to QB3 behind veterans Joe Flacco and Gabriel himself. But even from the sidelines, Sanders has remained patient, disciplined, and hungry. What makes Shedeur such an exciting prospect isn't just his college stats, though those were incredible. At Colorado, he completed 74% of his passes for over 4,000 yards, with 37 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions. He became the FBS leader in career completion percentage at 71.8%, but what truly defined him was his toughness. Despite being sacked 94 times over 2 seasons, he kept getting up, kept fighting, and kept delivering big moments. That resilience is exactly what a struggling team like the Raiders needs. Damian Lillard sees that spark. He sees the potential of a young quarterback who can not only lead but inspire. The Browns, on the other hand, are still taking things slow. Even though they recently made Dillon Gabriel their starter, reports suggest Shedeur will eventually get playing time later this season once a game plan built specifically for him is ready. But the growing buzz around him, and now Lillard's public demand, could make things interesting. Could the Raiders actually make a move for Shedeur Sanders? That's the million-dollar question right now. Inside the Raiders camp, frustration is starting to show. Geno Smith's turnovers have cost them games. The offensive line has struggled, especially with key players like Brock Bowers being injured. The chemistry isn't there, and the once promising offense has turned stagnant. At 35 years old, Geno was supposed to bring stability, not chaos. Fans were promised a veteran presence who could win games, but instead, they're seeing the same issues that plagued them under Garoppolo, Minshew, and O'Connell. The so-called Tom Brady seal of approval has not translated into success on the field. Even head coach Pete Carroll admitted recently, "I'm processing it poorly to tell you the truth, because I did expect to win right out of the chutes." That statement perfectly captures the mood. Confusion, disappointment, and a sense of urgency. The Raiders are desperate for a new direction. And when someone like Damian Lillard says, "Bring in Shedeur," people start to take notice. What's even more intriguing is Shedeur's mindset through all of this. Instead of complaining about his current role in Cleveland, he's embraced it. He told ESPN that he's thankful for his situation, that competing every day is helping him grow mentally, physically, and emotionally. He's taking the long route, learning, observing, and waiting for his chance. That maturity is rare for a young quarterback, and exactly what makes him special. While the Raiders scramble for answers, Shedeur is quietly preparing for his moment. Imagine this, Shedeur Sanders in silver and black, leading a Raiders offense with young stars like Geno and Bowers. The crowd roaring in Las Vegas as the franchise finally finds its future quarterback. It's the kind of storyline NFL fans dream about, and Damian Lillard just might have planted the seed for it to happen. The Raiders' gamble on Geno Smith hasn't paid off, and the clock is ticking. The franchise needs a long-term solution, not another temporary fix. Lillard's words might sound bold, but maybe he's just saying what many are already thinking. It's time for the Raiders to take a leap of faith and invest in the future. Because if they don't act soon, they might miss another golden opportunity to rebuild around a true generational talent, and who knows? Maybe in a few months we'll look back at this very moment, the day Damian Lillard demanded a Shedeur Sanders trade, as the spark that started a new era for the Raiders. Until then, the ball's in Las Vegas's court. The fans are waiting. The pressure is mounting, and the future, it might just belong to Shedeur Sanders. Outro. So what do you think? Should the Raiders make the move for Shedeur Sanders? Is Damian Lillard right about preparing for the future, or should the team stick with Geno Smith a little longer? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the latest NFL drama, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss another update. This is your channel for all things football, and the story of Shedeur Sanders might just be the next big chapter in the NFL.